Well, hello guys, how are you all doing in the new year? I am pre-recording this last year as it is now, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload this and how many times I've asked you, how are you doing in the new year? But anyway, let's suppose that I didn't by now. Anyway, today it's time for another Q&A session. We have a lot of questions sent in by you guys and I'm doing my best to cover as many as I can. So without further ado, let us get to the questions. Pamela is asking if I think I will ever go back to bark medium. No, absolutely not. There is absolutely no reason to go back to bark. If I were to go back to organic though, I would go back to sphagnum moss indeed. And partially I will use sphagnum moss for the orchids that I plan to give away. I have a lot of divisions, back divisions, little keikis. They will benefit from the sphagnum moss more than they would from semi-hydroponics, and I'll tell you why. Sphagnum moss is a little bit acidic. That works great with keikis, with seedlings, with divisions and so on. Also, it retains a lot of water, which is great for my environment because things dry out here too much. And also it is pretty great for you guys because most of you, I believe, you still have organic medium or you prefer organic medium rather than inorganic. So it's pretty much a little bit easier to work with divisions and keikis and back divisions and things of the sorts using sphagnum moss. So I will I will use sphagnum moss for the orchids I plan to give away. It's a temporary medium. It's not like my setup. It's not gonna last forever or whatever, but I think it's a little bit better. It will help the orchids establish faster and be ready to send to you guys faster. Alrighty, this is an interesting question. France is asking, what is my opinion on specific music to stimulate plant growth? Did I ever try it? Well, this reminds me of an episode of Mythbusters. They actually grew some tomatoes in rock music, orchestra music, and pop, I don't remember. But I remember the outcome was that there wasn't really any type of difference. Oh, they also grew tomatoes without music. So there wasn't enough difference between them to say, yes, they grow better with any type of music. If you search on the internet, you'll find studies that say, hey, plants like music, and studies that will say, no, we've actually discovered they actually are not affected by vibrations or music or something of the sorts. And when you find yourself in this position of not knowing what to believe, just go back to the basics, go back to the logic. Did orchids have anything remotely similar to music in their natural habitat? Sure, tribal music, no. Wherever orchids grow, people don't usually stay. They don't live in very human-friendly environments. So no, they didn't have anything resembling music. What else could they have? Maybe thunder. Yeah, but that didn't happen often. What else? The jungle animals. It's not really music. They don't necessarily produce all those vibrations, right? So basically, I don't find they had anything in their natural environment or habitat that would count as similar to music or vibrations or waves produced by music that would stimulate them in a way that they would evolve around it, so they would respond to that type of stimuli. You know what I mean? I'm skeptical. I don't think plants actually grow better or worse with or without music. I don't put music in my greenhouse unless I water or do something else, but I usually listen in my headset because the greenhouse still has an echo. It's not pretty. But yeah, interesting question. That's my opinion. Of course, you're free to do whatever experiments you like, listen to what you like, talk to your orchids, make them listen to music, it doesn't matter. But since you ask, no, I don't think music has any effect on plants. I don't find the reason why it would. Okay, another very interesting question. Eda is asking if broken clay pots, if they are further broken down and tumbled to decrease sharp edges, could they be used as a growth medium for orchids? I think they can. Actually, Ceramis, I think it's pretty much that. It's not that, but it is closer to a clay pot than leca in any case. Ceramis is actually not round. It has all sorts of shapes. I do believe it is produced in a certain way because it has some lines. You know how bread, baguette, if you know what I mean, usually on the bottom it has a little pattern because of the tray. Yeah, Ceramis has that little pattern as well, probably because of the tray in which it's manufactured, but it is exactly that. I find it very similar to clay pots. It just doesn't have sharp edges. So yes, I think it can be used as a medium, but clay pots have different degrees of porosity, and I found, at least in my environment, that a very porous clay pot is no bueno, in the sense that it will dry out orchid roots. It's going to literally dehydrate the orchid because it sucks the living water out of the roots. I did experiments last year. My Phalaenopsis are absolutely horrible in clay pots. So yeah, you have to work a little bit with the environment, pretty much like Ceramis. Ceramis doesn't work for everybody. Leca kind of does, because it's that shape and also the less porous side of things, or less absorbent side of things, which make it a little bit more forgiving. Ceramis is not forgiving. But yeah, to answer to your question, finally, yes, I think it can be used, or at least tested. I think it deserves a test. Larry is asking if I noticed any fungus gnats since I'm using the peat to decrease pH in the semi-hydro setup. I actually didn't. I actually don't really have issues with fungus gnats. I do have every once in a while a fungus gnat, but they mainly revolved around the African violets or whatever soil I might have in the greenhouse, which I think is only the vanilla at this point. So no, the peat actually did not encourage fungus gnats. Fungus gnats actually thrive in environments with decomposing materials. Peat is kind of already decomposed. It's the final product, so it doesn't decompose further. It leaches out tannins and other types of acids, but it doesn't really invite fungus gnats. It's not an organic medium ready to be decomposed. So yeah, nope, I personally don't have issues with fungus gnats in my greenhouse as it is. Here and there, one or two, but they are very rare. Vikar is asking if I know any type of Phalaenopsis that has thin strappy leaves, because that's what they have and they don't know what it is. I actually don't, but maybe the Equestris. As far as I know, the Equestris has thinner leaves, and this is not the Equestris. So yeah, Google the Equestris and see if that is your orchid. And another quick question, Patrick is asking what is my opinion on fertilizers with urea and fertilizers without urea. I know I mentioned it a while back. I know I said I might test it out, but I kind of saw something shiny and I kind of got distracted. It's not an experiment that I'm very interested in. I feel stuff are going very well with my nitrate-based fertilizers. They're both, the fertilizers I use, they're both nitrate-based. I don't really see any bad effects of that. And as I told you in my previous video, there are articles which suggest urea is correlated with a disease with Phalaenopsis. To be quite honest, I wouldn't go and buy myself urea fertilizers, because even if orchids can actually absorb and utilize urea, and PS, urea is an organic compound and needs to go through decomposition processes to be actually available for plants, generally, as a general idea. Maybe orchids being epiphyte, maybe they're different. That was the question that people were asking a while back. So even if urea could be actually absorbed as it is, do I really want to test it out? Do I really think my orchids could look better? I don't. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with what I have. If I would see that my orchids suffer from deficiencies, particularly nitrogen deficiency, it's really easy to see a nitrogen deficiency. Pretty much the leaves tend to go kind of yellow. So if I would see something like that, sure, I would be testing and investigating all day long. But this, you know, since I have this, I'm not really interested to know if urea is absorbed. Maybe in the future. Right now I have other plans. But definitely, if you want to test it out, if you want to experiment it, by all means, I think it's a really nice experiment. Really interesting, and if somebody experiments, except Michael, I know he experiments, then yeah, post your findings on the internet. It's in the benefit of the entire community. And that will have to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, you know the drill. Give it a thumbs up. If you absolutely hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos and orchid related topics. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. This year, I'm telling you now, I want to hit 100,000 subscribers. Not because I'm greedy, not because I want subscribers. I want something that actually proves that I'm a YouTuber. At 100,000 subscribers, YouTube gives you this play button you can put on the wall. There's nothing in my house that screams YouTuber, orchids, anything. I only have my greenhouse and I want to decorate it this year with everything you guys sent me, with the play button, with everything. So yeah, that's the goal. If you wanted to know, that's my goal for 2018. The play button. Let's make it official. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.